The Chagos Archipelago, one of the largest marine protected areas in the world. About halfway between Africa and Indonesia, this vibrant blue ocean is home to at least 784 species of fish and 300 species of reef-building corals. Marine protected areas are zones of ocean where human activities are limited or restricted to conserve marine ecosystems. Implemented by the British government in 2010, this marine protected area covers 640,000 square kilometres and is a strictly no-take zone, meaning all forms of fishing and extractive activities are prohibited. Protected and untouched. A conservation success story? Or is it? For generations, the Chagos Archipelago was home to the Chagosian people, but in the 1960s, the UK forcibly removed them to make way for a US military base. Decades after their displacement, the UK declared the archipelago a marine protected area. And what seemed like a win for the environment, as well as scientific research, was shadowed by a darker motive, preventing the Chagosian people from ever returning home. The very people who lived here for generations were now excluded, with no active roles in managing the waters and lands that they knew best. Whilst the Chagosian displacement continues, research shows that involving local and indigenous communities in managing marine protected areas can lead to positive outcomes. Communities with generations-old knowledge can offer insights that science alone can't capture. So what does this look like? It's about blending traditional ecological knowledge with modern conservation practices, giving local people, and fishermen in particular, a seat at the table when decisions are made to ensure that they can actively participate in shaping the future of the oceans they know best. It involves building reciprocal relationships with the ocean, an indigenous term which describes the shared responsibility between nature and society, where sustainable practices are prioritised to nurture long-term stewardship and not destruction, like industrial fishing, where a shocking 4% of fishermen catch 75% of the world's fish. This allows local communities to continue their practices and access food while still benefiting from the protection and sustainability offered by marine protected areas. Across the world, some marine protected areas show that conservation and local communities can thrive together. For example, the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument, a marine protected area in Hawaii, which is co-managed by 3 US government bodies and the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, who are responsible for voicing interests and ensuring equity amongst the native Hawaiian community. Importantly, traditional ecological knowledge is foundational to a 120-mile reef restoration program. Or the Great Barrier Reef, where indigenous populations' knowledge is at the heart of conserving the reef, aiding in seagrass cultivation, as well as teaching practices to prevent sediment runoff into the reef, which prevents the growth of a destructive coral-eating starfish population. And finally, the Raja Ampat Marine Protected Area in Indonesia, where sustainable ecotourism is thriving. Tourists contribute directly to the local economy through entrance fees and activities within the space, which can provide jobs for local people whilst funding conservation efforts and supporting public infrastructure. After recognising the importance of incorporating local knowledge and participation into marine protected areas, what does this mean for Chagos? Well, we need to spark conversation. The first step is awareness, and people need to understand that true conservation is about inclusion and not exclusion. So I present to you a short excerpt from a Guardian documentary which presents the Chagosian population's fight to return home.
Welcome everyone in our birthplace.
We are reclaiming what for some time has been under British occupation.
We are asking our right as human beings. We are not going as visitors. We are going in order to prepare the future.
Chagosians once lived in peace, but their forced displacement has severed their connection to the sea and prevented them from passing down generational cultural knowledge. So we have to ask, How can we call it sustainability when those who know the ocean best are left out? How can we protect nature while ignoring justice? Conservation should never come at the cost of human rights. So it's time we rethink how we protect the ocean, starting with the Chagos Archipelago.